If you're an injured lifter, then chances are you've either gone through traditional physical therapy or you're thinking about doing so for help with your injury and actually getting back to lifting that you want to be doing. You know the types of clinics that I'm talking about. You walk in, there's carpet everywhere, a bunch of tables that people are getting worked on, dumbbells that may go up to 5 or 10 pounds, yellow TheraBands, not a squat rack or barbell in sight, and it honestly looks more like a hospital than like a gym or training center. You've probably done this because either your doctor or other lifters have told you to do this, you think it's the only option, or you just don't know that there's other things out there besides traditional physical therapy. Unfortunately, for so many injured lifters, traditional PT just doesn't get them the results that they're looking for. And that's exactly what so many of the lifters that I've worked with have also experienced. Like Joy, who's a competitive weightlifter and has been dealing with shoulder pain for months and months before coming to work with me. She had gone to several physical therapists, they all gave her the same sort of rehab program, and while she got a little bit better, she wasn't anywhere close to getting back to the actual lifting that she wanted to be doing, like snatches, clean and jerks, and pressing. Or Harrison, who was dealing with knee pain with squats and lunges and split squats and had tried working with more than one physical therapist and was able to get back to regular activities of daily living like walking and stairs and things like that, but was not able to get back to heavier lifting and squatting and all the movements that he actually wanted to be training in the gym. What so often happens is a lifter will be dealing with an injury, it starts to really affect their training, and they know that they need some help with it. So they go see their doctor or regular physical therapist and they do an evaluation. They get a traditional kind of physical therapy plan. They go to the clinic 1 to 3 times per week for probably 2 to 3 or more months. And very often they feel a little bit better. They're able to start doing regular daily activities with less pain or no pain, like walking and stairs and doing things around the house and all these sorts of things. And after a little while, they told that they're all good. They get discharged from physical therapy and they try to get back to lifting that they want to be doing. And then the pain just comes right back and they're basically back to square one. And this cycle happens over and over again for so many people. I've worked with many lifters who have gone through this cycle 2, 3, 4 times, and it's really frustrating. It sucks to go through physical therapy, put a lot of time and effort into it, think you're doing the right thing, and then when you start to get a little bit of hope that things are actually improving, you try to do the thing that you want to do, and the pain just comes right back. And this typically happens for 3 main reasons. The first and biggest reason is that most physical therapists just don't know enough about lifting and training to be able to really help out with modifying your training program. So what ends up happening is they just tell you to stop lifting, they say to go light, or just don't do things that hurt. And while this advice may seem like good advice and it seems logical and it may do some good in the short term, it doesn't really get you back to lifts that you want to do long term because you have no clear direction or progression back to the actual heavy lifting that you want to be doing. When you get this type of advice from a physical therapist, you just end up not lifting for a while, and if you're not doing the training and the things that typically would aggravate your pain, then yeah, you're probably going to feel better for a little bit. And if that goes on for a month, 2 months, 3 months, then what happens without you knowing it is you become detrained. It would be just like going to the gym, regularly training squats, doing that for a couple months and having your squat rep max go up. And then you take 2, 3 months off and then you try to go back into it and your warm-up weights now feel way too heavy. The same thing happens with your injuries. When you're consistently training, you're building up your tolerance to training. And when you take a lot of time off, that tolerance decreases. So when you get back into it, it's a lot easier to just overdo things and flare it right back up again, or have a new injury pop up. So when your physical therapist can't actually help you modify your training appropriately and help you continue to train around your injury in a way that doesn't flare up your injury or result in you becoming detrained, then you don't really know what to do. You stop training or stop doing the lifts that hurt, and this detrain process takes place, and then it just paves the way to re-injury or future injury. The second reason why it's happened is a lot of the rehab plans that lifters are given from their physical therapists are just way too cookie cutter and way too easy for them. If you go to the PT clinic for back pain, you're given hamstring stretches, bird dogs, and bodyweight planks. If you go for shoulder pain, you're given the same 3 sets of 10 of yellow TheraBand external rotations. If you go for knee pain, then you're given hip strengthening drills like clamshells and glute bridges and a lot of cookie cutter plans like this. And while all those exercises are fine exercises or rehab drills to do, and they have a time and place in some people's rehab plans, if you're a lifter who likes training hard and training heavy and squatting and deadlifting and doing cleans and all these other things, then you're going to progress past the point where that sort of rehab work is helpful fairly quickly. Rehab drills are just like any other exercise in that they're only beneficial if you're training them in a way that actually challenges you. So if your rehab plan that your physical therapist gives you is just the same exercises for the same sets and reps and same load and resistance and all this stuff for week after week, month after month, you get a little bit better in the beginning because you have some challenge with your rehab plan, but then you progress past that really quickly, and then it actually stops being a benefit. And because you don't continue to challenge yourself and actually build your injured area up, then again, you just don't reach the lifting goals that you have for yourself, because honestly, a bodyweight plank, a bodyweight single leg bridge, or bodyweight clamshells are not enough to get you back to squatting 3 plates or deadlifting 400 pounds or cleaning 225 or actually training hard and doing things that you want to in the gym. Instead, you need a rehab plan that meets you where you're at and is customized and individualized to you and your specific limitations and goals, and actually progresses over time so it gets more challenging and keeps up with the progress that you're making so that it can actually prepare you to get back to lifting that you want to be doing. And the third big issue is just the lack of support that most lifters get from traditional physical therapy. In most cases, you go to a traditional PT clinic, you go there 1 to 3 times a week for 30 minutes to an hour, and during that time you see your physical therapist for a little while and very often just get passed off to a rehab tech or an aide for the remainder of your session. And you don't really have any support outside of those hours of the week, or maybe even single hour of the week, they are in physical therapy, which is a huge chunk of time. And when you don't have that sort of support and guidance outside of the clinic and in the gym and in all the other times and activities that you're doing outside of the clinic, then you don't know what to do or what not to do. You don't know how to modify things on the fly, and you don't get the help from your physical therapist to actually support you in all the times that you're not with them one-on-one in the clinic. A lot of lifters think that they need the type of support that traditional physical therapy gives them because they are in person and they see their physical therapist each week. But in reality, they get a lot less support and a lot less accountability and help than you would through other means besides traditional physical therapy. At the end of the day, what lifters really need to solve their injuries and get back to training is a plan that helps them modify their current training to an appropriate level and progresses them back to their regular type of training over time in a safe, effective, and progressive manner, a rehab plan that meets them where they're at and also progresses over time so it keeps on challenging them, gets updated as they're making progress and having less pain, and actually gets them the results in strength and flexibility and mobility and all these other sorts of things that they're looking for, as well as support and accountability outside of the clinic, because that's where you spend most of your time anyways. And that's exactly how we help my client Mike. Mike is an avid lifter who is dealing with really bad back pain. He ended up having to undergo a spine surgery, and he went through a bit of traditional physical therapy, and it didn't get him to where he wanted to be. So he came to me and we actually developed a plan just like this for him. We had him doing different squat and deadlift and other variations of other lifts that were painful for him and actually challenging, but that he also wanted to get back to doing. And we supplemented that with actual rehab work that was based on his specific limitations and was challenging throughout the whole time that we've been working together. And because of that, he's been able to safely and effectively get back to squatting and deadlifting over 400 pounds without any back pain. And Delaney, who's a competitive Olympic weightlifter who was being sidelined by her own back injury as well. We helped her modify her Olympic weightlifting training and then implemented a rehab plan that was actually challenging for her and progressed over time. And now she's back to squatting and deadlifting and doing clean and jerks and snatches and competing again on the platform and being confident in her back while doing so. So if you're a lifter who's dealing with an injury and you actually want to get back to lifting that you enjoy without pain and confidently, and you don't want to deal with all the hassle of traditional physical therapy with the wasted time and money and effort and all the frustrations that come along with not getting the results that you're looking for, then click the link below and schedule a phone consultation with my team, and we'll see if we're a good fit to help you out.